On today's episode, we have Manoj from SMI Force, and I wanted to share a quick bio about Manoj and what his role is, as well as some info about SMI Force. So Manoj is the Director of Strategy and Product Management at SMI Force, Inc., where he leads the strategic vision and development of the company's AI-powered cybersecurity and data analytics platforms. With a focus on innovation, automation, and intelligence, Manoj has been instrumental in positioning SMI Force as a leader in delivering cutting-edge AI-driven solutions that protect organizations, simplify operations, and turn data into strategic advantages. We are super psyched to have Manoj and to share some of the leadership that he has in that space, specifically more so on the data analytics side, and we're really excited for this conversation. So welcome, Manoj, in this episode of our Business Huddle. Things off with the Business Huddle today with Manoj with SMI Force. We'll be talking about a number of things, how you got your company started, how you're kind of presenting yourself currently, and some of the different tools and techniques you're currently laying out there, as well as some marketing strategy that you're doing currently, and we'll dive into a number of different questions. But today, really, at the end of the day, welcome you into the space, and looking forward to kind of diving in a little bit deeper in your company, and so wanted to kick things off with kind of the origin story and how you founded, I think your dad founded it, and go a little bit of the background there and kind of how it's kind of grown since then and where you're at now.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So SMI Force, the whole concept of this idea was to really help, at first, IT professionals kind of get a sense of their technology stack, right? Through analytics, through insights to make them actionable, for them to utilize in an everyday operation setting. And so 15 years ago, right, we're going back to 2010 of the time, creating the company was my father's focus around his time in technology over the course of 30 years, right? Understanding that data doesn't come easily. And when data does come easily, it's really hard to make sense of it. And let alone across an entire organization, really in an IT operation, at first, it was like, how do we utilize this to make sensible actions to move the company forward, right? From our side. And so the whole origins of SMI4 started by creating what's called an asset management solution. And what an asset management solution really was focused to do was to essentially take idea of what assets you have within the organizations, track the performance, track the end of life, end of service, all those different types of metrics that you would want to know across a technology stack. Fast forward, we shifted our priorities to focus on new and upcoming concepts coming into the marketplace. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotic process automation, and big data analytics, or a big data lake, right? And really what our focus is let's broaden this. Let's take large amounts of data for an organization across any division, right? But still focusing on IT, and be able to create business insights that allows them to, protect their organization, enhance their organization, grow their organization, so that any size of an organization across any industry could make sense of not only their understanding of the business industry from their own metaphors or from their own anecdotal insights, but also from the business insights as well. And so that's what kind of started the company to create a full AI-powered data analytics platform that we have today.
Yeah, so it really started with the IT side of things, and then has grown into, okay, now that we know where everything's at from an IT perspective, how do we obviously send internally a message of, hey, everything's been checked, as well as those are things that people look for in other areas of their business as well, marketing or sales or whatever aspect.
Yeah, and this platform now has kind of gone cross-functional to be working with finance, working with sales and operations, working with marketing, working with still IT and technology, but being able to have a more AI-powered data analytics platform at the core to really focus on providing different organizations within a company the customized data insights that they need in order to make day-to-day operational decisions, right? And that's hard, right? When we talk about data, right, especially even from a marketing perspective, we use data all the time when we look at marketing trends and marketing success and, return on investment of a marketing dollar that we're putting through. But the actual concept of taking that data, cleaning it up, turning it into the story you want to be able to tell, the numbers don't lie, right? It's really hard, though, to take all that data and make sense of it in real time. A lot of times when we take all that data, we're kind of creating a static trend where we're not getting those insights today when you ask for them. You're getting them 2 weeks later. So you're making decisions almost like reactively, right? And so our value proposition is to be able to help mid-sized companies, small businesses, enterprise, utilize our platform to make real-time business decisions with ease, simplicity, and allow them to truly just manage the business and do the actionable side while our team does the analytics components through our platform.
Yeah, allows businesses to be proactive and see, okay, here are the trends, here are the stats, here's what it was previously versus now, and then obviously not just kind of having to wait to pull together reports. You already have the reports at your
Well, and customizing them too, right? Because company A is not the same as company B, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's one of our differentiations in the marketplace is that you can go find analytics tools out there that provide you the standard financial metrics, sales metrics, marketing metrics, right? Whatever it might be. But to have specific insights that follows a company's industry to help them make industry better decision making, that is the goal. That's the ideal state that every business wants to get to.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, thanks for sharing, obviously, the ideal state and things like that. Yeah. Some that isn't without challenges and things of that nature as well. So wanted to, you address if there's any challenges that you have done, because obviously launching a product and then having to pivot, and obviously with AI moving so fast, like what are some of the challenges that you're currently dealing with, and if there's any misconceptions that you're struggling with in that space as well that are causing things of, okay, we need to address these and pivot and work with some of these potential marketing fires or things of that nature as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost, AI is a double-edged sword, right? It has its strengths, it has its weaknesses. The biggest strength of it is that it allows organizations to make sense of their data faster and much more easier, right? There's different concepts to AI. There's large language modeling, there's natural language processing, and many more that come into play these days that we're seeing. Even the use of what's called agentic AI, which is not a new concept, but a growing use of AI where we're really focusing on automation through AI, taking action with AI. The other side of the coin, though, is the trust in AI. Can you trust the models that are coming through? Am I teaching the model? Is it self-learning? How do I fix it so that it better helps my business, right? That's one of the core things that we come across with our branding, because we come across as an AI-powered analytics platform, right? So what is the first question that anybody asks? Well, how good is your AI? Show me your AI, right? Let me understand what and how you're using your AI to drive these insights, right? And so that's always one of the biggest challenges, is that when you're in a space for a product that has new technology features coming out, getting people to trust those features, and then to trust, again, the business concept of what you're doing, right? Always, first and foremost, is we put the customer first. So being able to walk them through how AI can be used in terms of whatever operations that they're in, marketing for, instance, right? Being able to show them firsthand and demonstrating the power of the platform and how AI is going to complement their organization. And that's the key word, is complementing, right? Because it's it's an added on assist that it should be, right? And so when you can harness it that way, when companies can harness it that way, there's a lot of strength that can be shown from there.
Yeah, and to your point, you were started with this whole thing was started without AI, or pieces of AI I'm sure were utilized in terms of it, but when you are building it out, you're also planning for it can't just be like throw a ChatGPT bot and it's going to do everything for you.
Exactly.
It needs to be planned, tested, and before it goes to market on that side of things. And I think that's where a lot of maybe some companies are forced to move so quickly. I even think about when we're managing ads for clients, there are tools to utilize where it's literally just Google AI to do your ads for you. But the problem with those is they're not necessarily smart enough to pivot at times, and you do need to watch it, because it can be a great option to look at if you have a small budget or things of that nature, but it can go down the wrong path as well, because you're running the risk of it's seeing a conversion and it's saying, well, that's great, let's keep trying to get more of those. But if that conversion isn't what you want,
right,
how's AI going to know that? There needs to be that interaction on that side of things. And so I'm, sure there's a lot of those types of things that come into play as you're building this thing. So
there is. I mean, it's you hit the head on the nail, right? It's talking about, like in your case, when you talk about Google AI, it's not just conversions, but the specific audience members that you're going after, right? And making sure you're targeting those correct industries that you want the impressions to be made off of. And that if it's not happening that way, if it's going to a different industry, well, then how do we change our messaging? How do we change the focus of it to make sure it works, versus just going off of the baseline numbers and saying, oh, conversions are higher than last week, and let's continue it. Let's double down on it, right? And that's where that double-edged sword comes into play, because a lot of models out there that are for public use are not built or not constructed to focus on the business best interest, right? And rightfully so. So, right, when you're looking at how to use, in our case, our analytics platform, it's really understanding how is the AI going to benefit my business versus just being a generic AI that you can go get like ChatGPT or, whatever it is out there to just throw on top of it. And that's not the case for us, right? That's where we're, a lot of folks talk about using AI and they use it from that buzzword. We've been using it for quite a while now, and really have an understanding of how it can play in the marketplace, whether it's automation through AI, whether it's large language modeling and being able to contextualize the data, or being able to, hone in and understand and learn from the data to be more behavioral based, entity behavioral based, to be able to forecast trends and be more predictive of what you need to know. Those kind of things is what businesses want to get to. They want a simplistic way to understand how to better navigate the rough waters that you see in the industry challenges every day, and then be able to add to that with their own insights that they have from their years of tenured experience.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I think we're going to pause for a moment and go to commercial, and then we'll come back and have a moment to dive in deeper on some of the go-to-market things that you're working on. And I, personally, from the marketing standpoint, just, love to dive in deeper on some of the, the data and what you are focused on, as well as maybe some of the other clients and things of that nature that you're working with, if there's certain trends that you're seeing on that side of things. So
definitely.
Awesome. Hi, everyone, and just wanted to thank our sponsor, Tailgate Spices, today. We have a few spices to check out from tailgatespices.com. Wanted to show you the Skol seasoned salt, pigskin pork seasoning, personal foul chicken seasoning, and one of my favorites, the Kale Mary vegetable seasoning. I love putting this on eggs. If you're a breakfast fan like I am, highly recommended. Go to tailgatespices.com to find them in a store near you. Tailgate Spices, get your spice on. Awesome. We are back and excited to dive in on some of your go-to-market strategy, some of the trends that you're working on currently, and wrapping things up with some questions and rapid fire questions on that side. So
Sure.
Just wanted to dive in a little bit on some of the marketing, go-to-market strategy you're working with, any growth strategies that you're currently focused on, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I think there's a couple different marketing initiatives that we're working on, right? The first and foremost is how to become more industry specific, right? Focusing on looking at our key companies that we work with and being able to double down in those spaces. And so working with our partners, our business partners, to be able to get the brand awareness out there for why these types of corporations or organizations really need it, whether that's in healthcare, whether that's in transit, whether that's in education, or more broadly, the public sector space with local government or enterprises, right? Being able to showcase where we can play, how we can play, and being able to make the insights more specific to those organizations versus just a broader general sense of saying, hey, we have a data analytics platform, come check it out. It's like now we can say, hey, check out our healthcare analytics platform.
Right.
Check out our educational analytics platform that helps you do A, B, C, D, and E.
Yeah.
And on that side too, we talk a lot about the analytics piece. The other side of the coin that we're really working on from a product go-to-market strategy in terms of our product side is cybersecurity. And that's one of the areas where we utilize our platform to really help a lot of the same organizations that we're doing from the data insights or the AI-powered insights we talk about to really focus on securing their organizations and being able to monitor, detect, investigate, remediate those threats as well. So, I would say our biggest 2026 strategy is really building on the different industries that we work well in and creating the brand awareness from there, showcasing how the product can be more specific to their industries. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest initiatives that we have to really tackle this upcoming year.
That's awesome. I mean, that's something we talk about all the time with our clients on, especially clients that, have a product or solution similar to yours where it's, sort of saying, hey, like it can be used by anyone, right? Technically, yes. But at the same point, there are certain industries that you work well with or that they, seek out that information more.
Right.
And so especially IT space and things of that nature, if you're, just a general like plumber or something like that, maybe you're not interested or looking at that because you have a couple employees and it's the last thing on your mind, right? But as you get into, healthcare or, I have financial documents or whatever it might be, those things start to be like either like necessary because of industry or they are something that you're constantly thinking about because it helps you set yourself up over your competition and make sure that, hey, we can tell our customers we're checked in all of these areas and that side of things. So that's great. And it makes a ton of sense. Talk a little bit about some of the things that as you're maybe planning for these, as well as like some of the different KPIs or measurement tools that some of these industries are maybe focused on. Because I think that would be interesting as well as just if there are certain things that you're starting to hone in on that, the healthcare industry, they love seeing this sort of info and this combination and any of that stuff. Because I would guess case studies are really helpful in building out that industry, focus as you're building these strategies.
Yeah, I mean, I would say across the board, for a lot of industries, they have their set metrics that they like to look at, and then they have their, I would call it their wish list, right? And a lot of times, that's what differentiates from a cookie cutter platform to something that's more customized to what we can do. So when you look at like some of the industry trends, some of the industries that we're working with and the trends that they're trying to focus on, a lot of it is being able to create, I would say more broadly, a 360-degree view, right? Their finance data sits in one hub. Their marketing data sits in another hub. Their sales data sits in a whole different area, right? But they don't talk to one another. And that's the problem with data, is that they're so siloed that a lot of platforms are striving to be able to make it cohesive so that they can make a more uniformed business decision, being able to look at multiple aspects. So in healthcare, it's really looking at, depending on what type of healthcare you're looking at, more broadly, it's bringing in those different perspectives, right? Looking at operational insights with the financial insights with maybe it's more of the sales, or if you're in pharmaceuticals, like looking at those types of metrics and being able to combine the necessary aspects of those three areas into a dashboard that can help solve a product launch, or look at being able to add another business operation in this sector geographically. Is that a good idea, right? So when you think about the different types of KPIs that businesses are looking for across the board, I always like to step back and say, what problem are we trying to solve? Right? Because it really is dependent on saying, hey, I can just throw together a bunch of insights on a dashboard and say, hey, take a look at it. But again, there's the difference between actionable insights and then what I call just insights to inform, right? And so you need to kind of be able to gauge that. When we work with education, we're providing student data analytics, looking at taking data from their student management, learning management systems, and being able to provide the entire district understanding of how many kids are attending the schools, how what does the grade scores look like, test scores look like, how do we look at the performance of different schools, and then you add into that maybe the budgeting for the different schools so that you can provide a dashboard that fits different levels of the district, principals at each of the individual schools, teachers for each of those different schools, the entire district rolling up and having the administration look at it, whether it's the superintendent or the assistant superintendents or more, and then being able to provide insights for different departments within the educational space, right? But being able to take the core data and saying, okay, we have student management data, learning management data, financial data, right? Operational data. How do we bring that all together to tell a story? And that's the kind of the biggest use case that we come across for any of the industries that we serve in healthcare, education, local government, higher education, enterprise.
It's layering all the so marketing to financial to cybersecurity to whatever it is, those sort of things, so that they can see, okay, we're covered and moving. And I'm sure at a the especially the C-level people are starting to say, okay, I just want to see a checklist and say where we're at and where, and let my teams focus on their specific divisions.
Right.
But I need a pulse to know, hey, where are things at, and where are we going? How are we growing, and things of that nature. And
you'd be surprised how hard it is when you ask somebody saying, hey, can you pull me together insights that take these different components and put them together, essentially, how hard that actually is to do. And I mean, that's the whole biggest use case that you're solving, right? And again, it really depends on the specific industries that you're looking at. But, this goes back to creating those industry-specific use cases where now we're having healthcare dashboard that has the ability to take those financial operational data, even looking at product data for specific healthcare companies, and being able to merge all that into a dashboard that can talk to one another and correlate it to all the way when you look at, local government, being able to look at budget and operational tasks that you need to do. And, maybe one of the problems is how do we forecast the two and say, what budget spending are we going to do, and where is that going, and does that make the best sense, right?
Yeah,
being able to look at present data, historical data to predict and have a better understanding of upcoming opportunities or risks that I need to be aware of in my business.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how can people learn more about what you're up to and SMI Force in general? What are some is it going to the website? What are you guys going to trade show, anything of that nature? What's the best way for people to learn more about the company?
Well, first and foremost, it's the website, right? Website has got to be the most informative way to understanding our products, whether you're an IT director in the technology side that's looking for a security information event management tool like ours that is fully managed and powered by AI that can help you avoid those costly cybersecurity threats and risks, to if you're a director, a C-level, or a business insights person that really wants to hone in on the data and being able to make actionable decision-making, come to the website, right? You're going to learn a lot about the platform, a lot about what we can do and how we can help you. From there, yes, trade shows are going to be our big thing here in 2026, being able to really focus on industry-specific trade shows that we can partner with a lot of our technology partners across the U.S. to be able to provide that awareness around what we can do, how we can help them, along with other aspects, articles that we post. We do a lot of blog articles on our website, through social media, webinars and podcasts like this, where we can talk about the solution, talk about that differentiation. But honestly, nothing beats a demonstration, right? If you want to know more about the product, reach out to us. We're happy to show it to you and show you what it can do and how it can better help you, and really understanding what you need. Right?
Sure.
And seeing if we're a good fit to help you out.
Yeah, awesome. Couple quick fire questions.
Yeah.
Any books you're reading right now that you want to share?
Ooh, so a lot of my time has been spent on reading a lot of biographies.
Okay.
So, I've been really getting into reading a lot of different business professionals, how they kind of got their startup, how they kind of worked through a lot of the different business challenges. There's nothing that beats kind of understanding, what those challenges are and how you can face. One of the books that I recently read was it's kind of a marketing book. It's called Hacking Growth. It's being able to understand kind of how you can utilize metrics and more of a quantitative setting to kind of create growth for your business, for your brand, and what you really should be focusing on. That's a really cool one that I was actually kind of given that book to read, and I've really loved it.
Sweet.
So yeah, those are kind of the two areas of my focus right now.
Awesome. We'll make sure to link that in the description, and also any tools that you're currently using professionally or personally that you're like, this is an app that I've fallen in love with besides your own.
Yeah. I would say realistically, there's a bunch of different AI models out there, and I won't name all the different ones that we're looking at, but being able to understand and know it, that's going to be the next big thing in the next 10 to 15 years. AI is going to be the new, big application that is going to have a hand in every cookie jar, so to speak. So, one of the things that I've been loved doing is being able to look at various aspects of how AI is helping different industries and understanding what the different types of AI are. Because I think, as any person should understand, is the buzzwords are going to be out there. You're going to have much smarter marketing professionals than myself be able to kind of get the word out there around AI and how to use it, but knowing exactly what are the different types of AI, how it can be applied, whether it's your business, personal, whatever it might be, it's going to play a realm in all those areas. And so I've been looking at a lot of different models of late and being able to understand agentic AI versus large language modeling, all the different aspects that are coming down the road as well.
Sweet. Well, there's a lot to dive in on in terms of AI, and everything is constantly changing. And you said 10 to 15 years. It could be 1 year that everything is completely changed with how fast things are moving. So super, thanks for sharing some insights and details about what you're up to. And as you mentioned, go to your website, and we'll make sure to have that linked in the description as well, and share some additional details, and make sure to connect with Manoj on LinkedIn as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Marty. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining this week's Business Huddle with Manoj and SMI Force. Super happy to have him on, and I hope you guys got something out of this episode today. Our next episode, we'll be diving in on video, and we got a special guest coming for that.